Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about very odd items, pretty strange items, really weird things that I pick up for resale, and the majority of the time this works out. Now, a lot of times these things don't have comps, or the comps are like not there for the item, and I'm just doing it on a whim. I'm doing it to learn more about an item. I know, why don't I just make note of the item and then look it up without purchasing? But for me, being in this business so long, I really enjoy letting myself spend a few dollars on items that I just feel like putting in my cart. Now, is that something you're going to make a business model out of? Absolutely not. Don't make a business model out of going up and down the aisles in a flea market or a yard sale or a thrift store and just buying really weird things. I mean, it could work out, but sometimes for me, I find that when I find really odd items, they sell because there's no competition. Like with blueprints, how many people are going to be looking for blueprints from 1973? You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm trying to appeal to the buyer that buys unusual things, and I love hunting for those while I'm buying all of the normal things and all of the treasure and high-end pieces. So today we are talking about why in the world did I buy that, and just showing you some really odd items, because how often can we look at a rack of clothing or a wooden bowl? Quite a lot. I have over 100 videos on that subject. So the first item that is really odd, even for me, and I found it in a thrift store. So on the shelf, there was sitting this box, and as you can see, it has the owner's name, and you can tell it's vintage. I'm looking to see if there's a date on this. I don't see one. Their name is crossed out, but this came from the Garling House. Yeah, Garling House Company. And it says complete house plans for a 2-story house. So does anybody out there want to build a house? And why did I buy house plans? Well, I'm not quite sure, but let's take a look at it. Now the box says complete, which doesn't mean they are complete. It's just the person who wrote it, and we don't know who wrote it, so how do we know if we can trust them or not? But when you pull it out, you can see there are quite a bit of blueprints here. I'm going to unroll them, and this is in Topeka, Kansas, that these plans were made for this house. And I'm looking to see if there is a specific date. Most times blueprints will have the date on them. It's my understanding. Let's see. Back in the day, you could order a house, I think on Sears. Do you guys know about that? There were like these house kits, and you could order, I don't know if you could get all the materials sent to you or it was just the blueprints. I have no idea. But this looks to be, okay, Sunday, August 7th. I am not seeing a year, but the box did say, 85. So it could be, oh, there's a postmark on it. Let's check out the postmark. Okay, do I have my glasses? Of course I don't. Hang on and I'll get the magnifying glass. Okay, I am back. Got the trusty magnifying glass. February 20th, 1973. So these are house plans bought in 1973, and it comes with a little bit about the company and some forms you fill out. Specifications and contract. I'm not sure if you bought the blueprint and then you bought the materials. Could that be? How could they ship all the materials around the country? Not quite sure, but anyway, oh, looks like an invoice. Maybe it tells us how much they, it's the person's name. Well, the woman's first name was Joy, and sure enough, she lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and she paid $75. Invoice number 4 sets of plan number 9272. Wouldn't it be fun to see if Joy built the house? I would love that. There's an address on here. Now that doesn't mean that Joy was receiving mail at this address if there was no house, right? Like it's not just a big plot of land with a mailbox. I don't think so. But I think that's really cool. So sometimes I pick up items that will appeal to the very unusual buyer, I'm going to call it. Not that the buyer is unusual, but it's an unusual sale. It's an unusual item. And I don't know, something about that interests me. So these are blueprints. I'm going to show this to you if I can get a couple of them uncurled. Let's see if I can get the next one. Okay, so it looked like Joy was interested in building a 2-story. This almost looks colonial to me. Can you guys see that? So I said yes to these. I paid $2 for Joy's blueprints, and I'm going to put them on eBay. I'm going to photograph a few of the pages, and I will put in the description, any pertinent information. Oh, here is Joy's credit card slip. You know what? I doubt she has the same credit card from 1973, did I say? But this is how credit cards, let me see if I can cover her information, what the slips look like. And sure enough, she paid $76.50. Just really interesting. So when I sell this, I will take out all of Joy's, personal information. I won't sell that, but I'm going to try to sell these blueprints. So that is item number 1 of very strange items that I pick up. And now I'm going to show you the second item that I saw sitting on the shelf, and I remembered the graphic of the cardboard. So the next item that I picked up was this baby pacifier. It is put out by Old School, no, Play School. It is put out by Play School Baby, and this is the pure orthodontic pacifier. So that is what it looks like. And I believe this is 1986. Now the first thing I do with baby items when they're very out of date is I check through Google if there are any recalls on the baby item, because you never want to sell something that has a recall for safety on it. So you either want to sell it in a collectible category, but you always want to check if there is an item recall, if all of that makes sense. So I did pick this pacifier up. I haven't checked it yet. But I remembered that there was a Play School pacifier. I think it was called the double pacifier. And I'm not sure if there was one on each end. I'll have to go back and look at that. But those pacifiers sold for like $50 or $60 for one pacifier. So when I saw this, I said, gee, a vintage pacifier, somebody's going to remember this. And I almost think my son, who is now 32, had one of these. So I said yes to this. I paid $2. Again, I don't know that you're going to make a business out of selling vintage pacifiers, even if you could find them, but I thought this was quite unique. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of these, so that's what made me pick it up. Next item that I saw sitting on the shelf, and this is not a high dollar item, I knew that, but I didn't want it to go to the landfill, was this travel aid safety kit. So it is just a little tin and pretty rough shape. You can see the paint is peeling there. The paint is all chipped. And the tin, this one happens to be empty. So I'll show you the inside. Now, a lot of times tins like this were given out with the purchase of a new car. It came in your glove box. And this one is American First Aid Kit Company, Brooklyn, New York. And it just tells you, what was in the tin and a few safety first aid hints. So I said yes to this. I think I paid $1 for it, and I don't imagine this is going to bring more than, $5 to $7, but I like picking things up like this. So I said yes to this first aid safety tin. The next item up, I thought it was Pottery Barn sitting on the shelf. I don't think it's Pottery Barn. I don't see a marking. Doesn't mean it's not Pottery Barn. Could have been that the sticker or the little identification fell off of it. But I'm going to show this to you. I picked up this reindeer candle holder. Now, I'm sure we've all seen these. I bet you a lot of stores put these out. I bet you could find one of these in Target. I'm almost positive you can find this in Pottery Barn currently. But what I liked about this is vintage and it weighs a ton. I'm going to show you what the cups look like on top. They are quite rusty. I will give those a wipe out. Probably with just a cloth first to see how much of the rust comes out, and then I will probably put a Clorox wipe. I use Clorox wipes a lot for disinfecting and cleaning, things like that. I try to always put on gloves so I don't have as much bleach on my hands, but I thought this reindeer candle holder was really good and really not so plentiful. So I'm going to have to take a look at that. Could be wrong about that, but I really liked him. I thought he was not necessarily odd, but different because he's vintage. Okay, so the next item I saw was a framed poster, and right away the graphic caught my attention, and I was looking at it and I said, wow, I've never seen that poster before. And they wanted $5 for it, but the glass was cracked. So I brought it to an employee and I said, I'd like this poster, but I don't want the cracked glass. I mean, the glass was like, 36 big. And instead of them taking it out of the glass, they gave it to me for $1.99. Now here's the thing. I was judging the poster by the quality of the frame. The frame was a very good frame. I should have saved it to show you guys. And it was actually put together. They were separate pieces. So the sides of the frame were metal and the bottom and the top. And they were put together by these special brackets. And the framing company's name was on the back. And I did run a quick comp and did not find this poster. So I'm going to stand back so you can see this poster. Hey, diddle diddle. So I really liked the graphic on this. I thought that just the way they did it. Now this could be a famous piece of art that's been depicted in the poster. I'm not sure. I will run a comp on it through Google. I did not do that. I just checked eBay quickly in my phone and didn't see it. Doesn't mean it's not there, but I checked quickly because I thought this was very good. I thought that if somebody is doing Hey Diddle Diddle or has like a little children's library or whatever, this would be really sweet. It is backed on a piece of cardboard. Oh, and it even has the framer's sticker. This is not who made the poster. This is the frame, graphic art. There's no date on it. Ann Arbor, Maine, and it made it all the way here to Pennsylvania. And okay, magnifying glass time. Let's see what this says. Published by Bruce McGaw. That's a famous printing company. Graphics, 1993. And then it just gives a little bit, and it's printed in the United States. So I thought this was quite unique. I've never seen this graphic before. It doesn't mean that it's not common, but that's what made me pick it up. I almost always take posters out of the frames, almost always, because like I've mentioned in the past, the frame just adds too much weight to it, and I don't want my buyer to be, kind of like on the fence about wanting the print but having to pay the weight and the shipping of the frame when they could frame it themselves. So maybe that's a mistake sometimes. Now let me just back up and say, with high-end art pieces, I always leave them in the frame. I never take art out of the frame. If it's like a hand-done painting or something where I really feel like the comp is going to be high. So that is that find. Hey Diddle Diddle. Cat in the Fiddle, cow jumped over the moon. I guess I should read up on my nursery rhymes. All right, next item up were a set of silver-plated spoons, and I'll get those. Okay, and they are very sticky. I have not washed them. I will not clean them, take the tarnish off. Nope, I don't do any of that with silver. So it was just a mixed lot of, looks like baby spoons and forks, and then 3, I'm going to call these maybe dessert spoons. Now the dessert spoons are Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Finn. And I've got 2 Yogi Bear and 1 Huckleberry. These are very common on eBay. These won't bring a lot of money. I might get, I'm going to say $9 or $10 for the 3 spoons, but I went ahead and picked these up along with this little set. So you get 3 spoons and 2 forks. Now I don't know if this is a baby fork because these are quite sharp, and usually baby forks have very dull ends so you don't hurt your baby feeding them. So this could really be like a pickle fork, garnish, olive fork, something like that. So I will put that in the listing because I wouldn't want somebody to really feed their baby and the baby gets hurt. These could be a sugar spoon or something, else, but boy, are these sticky. Maybe they were jelly, I don't know. This is the Wilshire Company. I didn't find too much about Wilshire Company. Could be, a popular vintage company, antique company, and I just looked too quickly. But when I see tarnished silver plate, better when it's real silver, cutlery, I always look at it and consider it. So I paid $2 for the, what do I have here, 10 pieces, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. So, it's costing me like, 10, 20 cents a piece, so not bad. So I said yes to them. Okay, the next item up is a little brass figurine, which I pick up a lot of, so that's not the odd part of this. The odd part of this pickup is I cannot tell what animal this is, so how in the world am I going to put this in my title? I'm not quite sure. So if you guys recognize what animal this is, I'm thinking it's a dog. It looks like a dog. I'm going to see if I can get out of the shot. Now that could be, I don't know, is that a spaniel? I have no idea. The bottom does have remains of a sticker. I'm going to put that in. And most of it is peeled off. It says, I'm thinking that might say Korea. So if the item is made in Korea, what would that be? Between the 70s and the 90s, that would denote. So definitely vintage, definitely brass, and definitely I have no idea what animal this is. It's so weird. Let me see if I can do that again for you. So if you guys have any idea of what animal this is, would you leave a comment down below? If you're going to pick up little brass figurines, know that the really cute ones, of course, sell easier and quicker. I sell frogs, turtles, giraffes, elephants, monkeys. Monkeys are really good, brass monkeys. Trying to think of what else. But if you have like dogs or cats, they're going to be a little slower. So I'm going to say the more odd the animal, the better. And this one's odd, but I'm thinking it's a dog. So, but I picked it up. I said yes, and I paid $2. All right, the last item I'm going to show before I head out the door. I'm always on the run, which there are days I do stay home. Just know that. There are plenty of days where I just have piles by my desk and I just put on a TV show or music and just list away. And what am I listening to now? Right now I'm watching the Alone series. Again, it's the second time around on the History Channel. Do you guys watch that show? I love listening to people compete in survivor situations. I don't know why. There I am, all nestled in at my desk, just listing away, drinking a coffee or whatever, and it's a great job. And here these people are like trying to make fire and, find food. So really fun show. But today I am just going to make this quick video and then I'm going to head out. Where am I today? I'm a little bit all over today, just stopping at a few places. And the last item that I'm going to show, I did show on Instagram, and I talked about, I went to the bins last time I sourced. Today is Thursday, so I was out Tuesday. Was I out yesterday? No, I was home yesterday. Lisa came and photographed for me, and we had some other business going on, but today I'm out and about, and Tuesday I went to the bins, getting back to what I was talking about, and our bins are running on a different schedule because of COVID. Now, normally the outlet center, the Goodwill Outlet Center, which we all call the bins, is open from, I believe it used to be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. Since COVID and the reopening, they close it 2 times a day to switch out the inventory. So instead of just bringing out inventory, the big blue bins when it's ready, now they shut it down between like 11 and 12. They disinfect and they bring new stuff out. So people waiting to get in will line up. So I was second online this time, surprise, surprise. And they opened the doors and quickly I saw a more vintagey looking bin while everybody else was running for the athletic wear and the shoes. Pretty much I think that's what they were headed towards. I was the only one going towards the vintage clothing, and you know what, I'm going to show you 2 pieces. Very odd, nobody else wanted them. I'm not sure why, but yes please, so I will show you item number 1. So the first item I'm going to show you was peeking out of the pile right on top, this gorgeous black mink stole. Look how big this is. Is this gorgeous or what? So it's satin lined. And the quality is stunning. There are no bald spots, there are no stains. It doesn't even look like it's been used. Like the satin on the other side is so clean. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And it has an embroidered monogram there. And it says Marcia I think that says Donner, Donner. I did put that into a search and did not come up with that name. I thought maybe it was the maker's name first, but I'm pretty sure that high-end clothing almost always had the person's name monogrammed in it, and I think that was free. I'm not quite sure, but that way if you lost your item or if it's got stolen, there was a way of identifying, that it was yours. On the ends, it is embroidered like a quilted style, just beautiful. And our clothing at the Goodwill outlet is $1.29 for how many pounds and over? I want to say 30 pounds and over. And this day I did get over the 30 pounds. So I paid $1.29 a pound. So I'm going to say this probably weighs 3 or 4 pounds. Let's go with 4 pounds. So somebody do the math. 4 times $1.30 is $1.20, $4.20, right? Is that right? I'm not even going to take that out of here if it's wrong. Just know that I used to be able to do math on the fly, but gorgeous, just gorgeous, and I said yes to it, and I think this is going to do well. I think I have this listed already. I don't remember how much I have it listed for. I've been listing a ton. I'm going to say a couple hundred probably. All right, and I'm going to get the next item. And this last item is a piece of clothing that very few resellers, in my opinion, would pick up. This is a handmade brocade jacket coat type of thing in a very small size. So why in the world did I pick this up? Number one, the quality of the material is gorgeous. It's almost like, I'm going to call it a carpet bag tapestry brocade. I don't even know if brocade is the right term. I think brocade means an embroidered piece. I'm going to have to really research that again. I used to know the difference between damask, jacquard, brocade, tapestry, and I've forgotten a few things. But this is definitely a tapestry coat, zip front. The inside has been lined with, it almost looks like a tone on tone. I'm going to take it off of little Betsy here, so maybe the camera will focus on that. Can you guys see that? So the whole thing is lined, beautifully done, and the only thing with it is that my phone is cha-chinging away, yay! The only thing is that it's a very, very small size. Even though the bust measures a 36, which in my opinion, that's like a small, the shoulder girth, the breadth across is small. So I'm thinking this is going to fit somebody maybe a size 0. I'm going to give as many measurements with this because there is not 1% of stretch. This thing has no stretch at all. I'm going to zip this up on Betsy so we can take a look at it. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see. I'm trying to get, you know what, maybe I could even lift her up for a second. Balancing Betsy. So this is what the coat looks like, or the jacket looks like. It's got a full zip. Really nicely made, very thick material. And like I said, I remember back in the day seeing handbags. I think I might have even had one called carpet bag handbags. Maybe they still make them, and they were made out of a similar material. I'm going to say in the 70s. I don't know if those type of bags are still being handmade by the main company that we all used to look for. It wasn't like a company doing it in a factory. It was more like a small operation on Long Island that made them. And I just loved mine. I wore mine out. So I don't even remember where I bought it, to tell you the truth. I'm thinking maybe a craft fair. But this thing is just gorgeous. Very odd though, because there's no stretch, small size, handmade. This will take a long time to sell, but I was really afraid this one was going to go to the landfill because not many people would pick this up. But this is something that I gravitate towards. I think it's stunningly beautiful. Again, I'm going to move back a little bit so maybe we can see the full thing. I'm not sure if that helped at all. So that is my video for today. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Thank you for all your encouragement and your kind comments. And I think that's all I got to say today. Please hit the like and subscribe button as always, and the bell notification so you know when I post another video. And as always, go out and get what's yours.